Hello, I'm Rob Constantine, and this is Paranormal Record. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Everyone out there, we're at 4,000 listeners. That's so incredible. I am so flattered and touched by our paranormal nation out there of listeners, and people with interest in the paranormal, and hopefully with their own experiences, and this is just not only enriching people's thoughts and attitudes towards the paranormal, but also maybe opening it up a little bit and freeing up the communication between people that have experienced these things. If you have had a paranormal experience and you want to be a guest in the show, you can. We're taking interviews right now, and we're have a whole new season and the rest of this season coming up, and we'd love to have you be a part of that. If you have a story to tell and an experience to share, please write in to our podcast at paranormal record podcast at gmail.com. Again, that's paranormal record podcast at gmail.com. Please write in. We'd love to get some more interviews lined up. We'd love to talk to you. We'd love to hear your story. We're ready to believe you. So we want to hear about it. We want to know what you experienced. So this next episode, guys, this is April Schwartz, and she has had a lifetime of dealing with being sensitive to the paranormal, and she is an active ghost hunter, and her husband join ghost hunting teams across the Southeast, and sometimes she flies far away and does ghost hunting there, but she's been doing it for years. So this is a three-parter, ladies and gentlemen. So get ready for April's story that covers many years of her life and many different experiences, and a gradual understanding of her being sensitive, and from the very beginning, and then slowly realizing her abilities to communicate with the other side and communicate with spirits, and her family as well. And then her finding out as she grows up many different aspects of that, and some in her family not so ready to believe. So, incredible, incredible. Please write in if you have a story to tell. And please, ladies and gentlemen, as always, thanks for listening and keep listening. Let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, here's April Schwartz. Hey, April, are you there?
I am here.
Awesome.
How's it
Hi.
going?
Good.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. Hi. Um, Welcome to the show. No, it's great to have you here. It's really cool. You're a friend of a longtime listener, Matt Paladin Malone, who is
Yay!
my best friend's husband. He loves the show. He loves the show. And
Awesome.
that's so nice. That's so nice.
I love him, and I love him. And Asia. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God,
Oh,
she's my best friend. She's fantastic.
she's,
Hi,
she's
Asia. Hi, Matt. We love you
phenomenal.
guys.
Hi
Love you
guys.
guys.
Thank you.
Um, yeah, he's a big fan of the show and listens, and then he will
Oh,
call me like a week or so, sometimes even a day or so after the episode drops, and he will talk to me about the show, and we will talk about the show, and it's so much fun to get feedback like that. I love it. And he has been a fan since the pilot episode, and if I don't print episodes fast enough, and listeners, I know that I don't print episodes fast enough. I know, but I don't want to do bad episodes. I am out here, your lone investigator, cold calling places that I know to be haunted, going up to people, approaching my friends. Hey, I have a ghost podcast. Hey, I have a paranormal podcast. Give me your stories. And a lot of my friends, they're also believers, and
Mm-hmm.
that's awesome. And so I have a line, and I have a list of people, and I have a couple of things in the can. I have a couple of shows in the can, and I'm editing things together. I know a skeleton crew is coming up, so be
Awesome.
on the lookout for. And the skeleton crew episodes are great too. So if I know that I have a couple thousand listeners, and that's so awesome, a baby little podcast like mine I just started. Listeners, if you have a paranormal experience, please write in. Please email me and let me know if you have some stories you'd like to tell. I would love to meet you. I'd love to talk to you. And I need guests. So, um, yeah, write in. So when all the people besides Paladin, because I hear Paladin and I hear him and he's like, I need new shows. And I'm like, me too, man. But all you listeners out there, if you have a paranormal experience, no experience is too small. Like I know that Jamie Caskey had 3 hour story. Aiden Sinclair's 2 hours. Our pilot episode was like 2:30. I know
Yeah.
those are big stories, but not all
Yeah.
stories are big. Give
Yeah.
me some skeleton crew stuff. Like I will take
Gotcha.
any and all stories. I started this podcast to hear stories and to talk to people about this and further explore it and ask the questions that you want asked, ask the questions that I want asked, and maybe change the format a little bit to where it's just a conversation between me and my interviewee. I don't know, but me and the person I'm interviewing,
Gotcha.
and just what happened. Tell me what happened. Like
Okay.
that's all I need. I want a podcast. I'm doing the show I want to see. I'm doing the show I want to hear. Here it is.
I
But I
love that.
need people to call in. I
I
need people to
I
write
will
in.
let I will let people know. I will put them in your direction. I can do that.
Fantastic.
I can
Awesome.
do that for you. Yeah.
So April, you're a dear friend of the Malones, and you're also, I understand, um, a medium and also a paranormal investigator.
I wouldn't say I'm a medium.
Okay.
I because see, there's like I'm in a little bit of a conundrum, right?
Sure.
Because I have maybe within the past maybe 10 years, I have kind of like went from, yeah, you're crazy.
Oh no.
You need a grippy sock vacation, and just live there. To no, this is actually happening.
Sure.
There's something there. And so, what was I gonna say?
Oh, that you're not a medium.
Oh yeah, I'm not a medium. So I'm, I would consider myself a sensitive. I
Yeah,
am very
that's it.
sensitive to energies,
Yes.
very sensitive.
And listeners,
So,
I wanna say, listeners, real quick, you're not crazy. And if you saw something, something happened, and you're
yes.
not crazy. There's a lot of people out there that are dealing with
Hmm.
the same things you're dealing with, from sleep paralysis
Hmm.
to Hat Man sightings. Like this stuff happens to other people. You are not alone, and it might help to tell your story. It might help to understand that you are not alone and you're not crazy. Listeners, you're not crazy.
I appreciate
Some
that. I
some of
really
you
do.
some of you might be crazy, but I'm telling you,
But
if you saw something, and you know that you were awake when you saw it, and you
mhm,
know that you were not, and I cannot imagine going through something as traumatic as sleep paralysis and then not knowing what sleep paralysis was.
just
That's insane. Look up
we're,
sleep paralysis. We're probably
we're
going to approach this subject at some point,
we
listeners.
are we are
Yes.
because
But look it up
okay.
because it's a thing and
It's a
you're
thing.
not
It's a thing.
crazy.
You're not
Yes,
crazy.
you're
I
not
promise.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's a thing. Okay, so I've always been, I feel like I
Yeah.
have always been entrenched in the supernatural, in some way, shape, or form. My dad has native blood,
Okay.
and he's also Mexican. My mom is, she's also She's Spaniard. She'll tell you she's Mexican,
Hmm.
but she's Spaniard, and
Hmm.
she's also English, but she'll tell you that she's Mexican. So, there's a little bit of a, yeah, I just let her go. Yes, mom. Yes, yes. Yes, yes,
Sure.
yes, you are. Sure. But the mom, science doesn't lie, and DNA tests, they don't lie either. So yeah, we'll stick. Okay. Okay. So the very first time I remember having my first paranormal experience,
Okay.
I was 4 years old,
Wow.
and my dad was in the military. And he had left us to go over to Europe, Heidelberg, Germany. And we were staying with relatives, and there was this room. So they had their living room, and then you go down 3 stairs. I can't even remember this vividly. This is how bad this imprinted on me. You go down 3 stairs, you go on a landing. There's a door that goes open that went downstairs to like this garage or work area. But then you took a left, and then there was another room, like a sitting room, but it was also used as a guest room. And that's where I slept. I hated a 4-year-old, hated
Mm.
going down.
Mm.
I couldn't stand it.
But you had
I
to
was like,
sleep
I
there
don't
every
want to,
night.
I had to.
Yep.
I had to sleep. So I was like, I don't want to do this. I do not want to I don't want to. I would cry.
No one else was downstairs with you. You were just down there by yourself.
Yeah, I was just down there because my mom had just had my brother. And so she was busy, with the baby, and she wanted me to get sleep. Of course, it wasn't a big house, so I could hear the baby anyway.
Yeah.
My brother crying anyway.
Yeah.
But I just did not. And so the very first time, like, I was in between, like your conscious and your subconscious, that in between. And I felt like something or someone had come into the room. I felt that energy, even at 4. And it happened to be, it probably was smaller, but if with my eyes and from what I can remember, it looked like an 8-foot shadow man.
Wow. Yikes.
No figure. I mean, no face, no
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
Just like kind of like peering at me. I ran out of the room. I was crying. And I
Yeah.
was just like, there's a bad man in the room. There's a bad man in the room. And my mom was like, stop it. Stop it. Now, I
Mm.
want to give you a little bit of background information. I come from a very, 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 very religious background.
Okay.
So all of this was like taboo. You didn't discuss stuff like that. That stuff didn't happen.
Right.
Why don't you go pray? Go pray.
Hmm.
I can't, I know what I saw.
Sure.
So, after a few nights of this happening, my relative, he kind of got wind of the situation, and he said, "Don't ever go down into the garage, the little workroom." And
Isn't
I'm
that
like,
by your bedroom?
"Yes."
You have to walk through it, or is it? It's just there.
No, no, it was okay. So there was the stairs, and then there was the landing. The landing open. There was a door, and then you
Yeah.
go down the stairs,
But
but
it's
then to
down
the
there in
left.
your area that
Yes, in my
you're
area.
sequestered to every night as a 4-year-old.
Exactly.
That's terrifying.
Exactly. So he says, don't go down into, and so of course, me being, the curious kid, right? Like, well, why can't I go down? Well, just don't.
What?
The hell? What is wrong with you? Of course I'm going to go down there.
Especially if you tell me not to go in there.
Exactly. So one day I got the guts to open the door, and right away I could just feel what I think I felt was like an energy shift.
Oh
But I
wow.
so I had to force myself to go down the
Any
stairs.
temperature changes, or just something in the air?
Just something in the air.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a temperature change. I
Yeah.
just remember. And then the only way I can describe it is if something either came out of the wall or came up
What?
from, and it was the 8 foot shadow person.
So you were in
I
the garage and then he just showed up. What time of
Yes.
day was it?
This was at like maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right. This is not bedtime.
No, this is not the witching hour, which people call, which,
Oh, okay. Well,
it,
yeah, but
this,
but
or
it wasn't even nighttime.
no,
So he
no.
showed so this thing showed up. What happened? What'd you do?
I ran up the
Oh my
stairs
God.
and okay, and of course in my 4-year-old mind, and now, that was those many eons
You watched
ago.
it come through the wall. You watched it come
Yes,
out of the wall and then just materialize in front of you.
yes. Okay.
Yikes.
So I'm like, oh, I
Yeah, no,
run up the
hell no.
stairs and I
Holy
feel like
shit.
something's trying to like pull at me, right?
Yeah.
And this could just be this is just the way I remember it. And, and I close the door and, and my uncle is standing on top of the landing where the 3 stairs are. And he said, I told you not to go in there.
Oh my gosh. You're 4 years old. At least he could hug you and tell you it's okay.
Nope.
He knew what had happened.
Yeah.
Shit, that's really scary.
So that
Yikes.
was that was the first, introduction into the world of me really chasing, what is out there.
Just despite him not like telling you it was okay or hugging you, he did believe you when your parents did not,
Yes.
which is good.
Yes.
Like that
Yes.
was like he's grounded that and said, look, there's
Hmm.
some stuff going on downstairs and you need to be aware of this. Don't go in the garage. Just don't go in there.
Right. Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
tell him that it was okay? What happened? So then what? So then you didn't go in the garage anymore, or what? What happened
I did
after
not
that?
go in the garage anymore. And
Did you ever talk to him about the fact that he was coming into your room,
I
or
did, but
the shadow person was coming into your room?
it wasn't, yeah, but it wasn't until I was 4 at the time. It wasn't until I was 12 years old.
Oh, okay.
And
Have
we
that
were sitting down
conversation.
and we were having a conversation, and I was just like, so did you get rid of your little issue, your little problem?
Oh my gosh.
And he was like, well, we've done a lot of construction, so it's just kind of amped up a little bit, but we don't use the parlor room, or, the whatever you want to call it, their guest bedroom or whatever, as a guest bedroom anymore. They just kind of turn it into an office and a, sitting room where they can watch the birds and stuff like that. So,
They can watch the
you
shadow
know,
person come through the wall. I'm not. Oh my god.
like, I just, and
So there are windows in that room. So there was daylight in that room at 2 o'clock in the afternoon when you saw that. You saw a shadow
yeah,
person in the daylight.
yeah,
What what was that like? Were there shadows in the room itself, and then he just
yeah.
kind of hung out in those shadows, or he just was a black billowy thing in the daylight in front of you? Black billowy
Yes,
thing.
yes,
Wow, I've
black,
never heard of that. That's
like
awesome.
just black
Holy
billowy.
cow.
So when I see, so now, when I'm looking at pictures of, when some of my friends have been like, oh, we caught a shadow man, or we caught a
Yeah.
shadow person, I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, yeah, okay,
Yeah. Was it 2 o'clock in the afternoon with the sun
yeah,
coming through the window?
yeah,
Where there are birds? Did you see a shadow man then?
yeah.
Golly. Oh my
Okay,
gosh. All right.
so
So what's the deal with this house? What's the deal with this house? This is our house that the army put you guys in?
oh no, this
Okay.
was we were okay. So no, not this one. This one we were staying with relatives until my dad could find a place for us
Okay.
in Europe.
Is this house still in your family? Does your uncle still live there?
Yes, they still live there.
I wonder if he'd talk to me.
I, Probably not. I mean, I doubt it. And they don't want to,
Fascinating.
again, very, very
Sure,
religious, but,
sure, sure. At least he
so,
acknowledged it. At least he still
yes,
acknowledges it. At least he was like, I know you saw something.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so what so tell me, okay, go back to that conversation. What
Okay.
did he say? Yeah, what did he say?
We'll come to find out that there was somebody in our family who was, into like, now, this is like during when we were there, that was like during the satanic panic and everything like
Okay.
that. So, but there was a guy that somebody was hanging out with who was into like really dark magic and really didn't know what he was doing. Was very, very, very irresponsible with what he was doing, and they think he conjured something that just wouldn't leave.
This is a teenager,
No, well, no, I think it was someone in their early 20s.
but he heard the house was haunted and came over and tried to address it from a paranormal level, and then
Just
brought it
so.
brought it more, or
I
or
don't.
he just did something in the basement that
I
didn't
think.
leave,
I think yeah. I mean, it
right?
could be all of the above. I really never got
Okay.
the straight story, but then
Wow. Yeah.
and I even talked to another relative who was like, yeah, no, that that was that actually is a real experience.
Sure.
He's there, and so I was
Yeah.
like,
That's what they turned that room into an office.
yeah. So now you can, hang out with the shadow man while you're, I don't know, on your typewriter, so because at the time there were no computers, so
Yeah.
but if things like that, we kind of keep that on the down low, but that's something that like you don't forget something like that. It's something that imprints on a 4-year-old. I mean, it was
Sure.
like terrifying,
It
like,
is terrifying. But
oh,
you
and
saw
so
it, April. You saw it. It was there.
I
You
did.
definitely saw it.
Okay, so okay, so we moved from Heidelberg. No, excuse me. We moved from LA because that's
Yeah.
where we're
Okay.
at a relative's house, and then we finally got to move to Europe to Heidelberg.
A lot of LA ghosts this season, listeners. A lot of California ghosts this season. Um, oh, nice. Um, but okay. Wow. Wait. So you moved. Oh, wait. So you just saw him those two times before we leave this house. You only saw him those two times.
Yes,
Okay.
I believe so. Like you're from what imprinted in my memory
Yeah.
those two times,
Okay.
yes,
Well,
but
I'm
I was
glad
never
that he didn't
comfortable in the
show up.
room.
Yeah, I'm glad that he didn't show up anymore when you were trying to go to sleep or when you were sleeping, and then just continue to traumatize you or whatever. Like he just showed up those two times.
Yeah,
4 years old. Golly,
isn't that terrible?
yeah, because and also no one's gonna listen to a 4-year-old. They
No,
have
nobody, no,
imaginary friends,
no.
and
Oh,
they talk to their dollies and all kind. They
I'll
don't
get
listen.
to
No
that
one listens
too.
to a 4-year-old. Yeah. Oh gosh.
We'll get to that too. Okay,
Uh, I mean, they people do listen to 4-year-olds, and they should, and everybody
I
should be
do.
able to talk. Absolutely.
I
But
do.
but but if they say something like that, they're not gonna be like, let's move her to another room. They're going to tell you to walk it off, or they're going to be like,
Exactly, like
no
rub dirt in it.
monsters here,
Yeah,
April. And it's like, yes, there is.
I know.
Oh
It's
my
like, why
gosh.
my parents told me
Oh my
there's no such
gosh.
thing as monsters. Okay, now, yeah, let's sit down and have a conversation because you lied.
Right. Yeah. Why are you lying? Yeah. It's like, oh
Yeah,
gosh.
why you gotta lie to me like that? Yeah. So,
All right. So you guys move.
okay, so we moved. Okay, we moved to Germany, and we didn't, there was no barracks housing for us at the time. So we got to live out in what we called the economy in Germantown, and in a Germantown. So we were entrenched and within the German community.
Yeah.
And I don't remember this, but I've been told by many relatives that during this time I had an imaginary friend.
Okay. Did he speak German? Because that's the first question I have.
I cannot remember. I do not remember, but
Yeah.
I actually learned how to speak fluent German too
Oh, cool.
during, yeah, because we were out, out and about in the, like
Sure. Yeah.
with, and I mean, we had to go get we had the the fruit man come every day. We had the milkman
Cool.
come every day,
Cool.
bread man come. So, we got the whole experience, and everything like
The whole
that.
community. Yeah, you live there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so and then we got our barracks. What I would consider, then we got a housing, um, which was, there's so many like different tales of what our housing actually was. Some people say it was American housing for the soldiers in World War II. Some people say, oh no, there was Nazi barracks. So,
Okay.
there's so much to go through with that we could spend so much, doing the fact from fiction. So, but what I will say about that is that during this time being uh the in Germany, I got to hear the Cinderella tale. I got to hear the real Cinderella tale.
Okay.
So I was, I got to hear, like, so they embrace their paranormal. They love their legends. They tell you
Cool.
all about their ghosts. The castles got tours about their ghosts and their legends, and the lover throwing herself off the balcony, and
Right.
her foot, she hit so hard that her foot imprinted into the concrete. And there was these metal big, into when you get into the wine cellar, and this is the Heidelberg Castle now. Get into the wine cellar, there's this two big huge doors, and it had these metal knockers, and there's teeth imprints, and they said that's where the werewolves were trying to get in and stuff like that, or somebody was trying to open. And so yeah, they were all about, and they're like, oh, it's
That's
certain,
awesome.
at certain parts of night, you can actually see the princess throwing herself off of the balcony. I mean, so they really embraced,
Goodness gracious.
that
Yeah.
type of a culture. Because when I
Yeah.
came back to the States, and they, Disney Cinderella, when I watched it, I was like, no, that's not what happened. What do you, what that's not what, no,
Mm.
no, so then being fairies, and then, we went to the Black Forest, and of course that's supposed to be one of the most haunted places, with, again, with werewolves and stuff like that. I'm a little bit on the fence when it comes to cryptids. I would love to dig a little bit deeper into cryptids. So, I was like, gosh, a werewolf. Wow, okay.
Mm.
So, but I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, I've seen a werewolf. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, you're lying. I'm gonna be like, tell me more. I
Yeah.
want to know, tell me more.
Yeah.
So the the thing that imprinted on me the most during this time, I was 6 years old, and my parents went on vacation, because you get 30 days of leave, and they decided to take me and my brother on a tour of castles. And so I got to see the Neuschwanstein Castle, where Disney got his inspiration for his castle in Disneyland. And I got to see all of crazy King Ludwig's, castles, which were just stunning from what I
Cool.
remember. So
Cool.
I got to, do all this great, neat stuff. Well, um, for anybody, I'm going to give a disclaimer. For anybody who is sensitive to the Holocaust, I mean, no disrespect at all.
Okay.
Um, None. I have the utmost respect for concentration camps and everything like that.
Sure.
I'm just sharing my experience.
I think we can talk about those things, and I think we should talk about those things and discuss them. And yeah, no, I don't. It's yeah. Please.
Oh, this one's a little bit rough. Okay.
Okay. All right.
So my parents decided that they were going to take me to Dachau.
Okay.
concentration camp.
Oh, I know what Dachau is. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, so we can all agree that. So, here's what I remember.
that's a lot for a 6-year-old to deal with.
I remember it being in the middle of a bustling neighborhood.
Okay.
Kids, kids playing, playgrounds, birds chirping, and then you had to park. Still, you could hear the birds chirping. I mean, and I'm just
This is
like, what?
19. This is 1970 something or 1980
No,
something.
this was yeah, it was in the 80s. It was
Yeah. So
it
this
was in the
is this
80s.
is this is a couple of years after the war ended. I mean, this is
Yeah.
they got
Yeah.
they got some years to build the town back to put everything back and then
Hmm.
to grow. So all right, fascinating.
So this town is built in Munich is built
Okay,
around this concentration camp. So it's kind of like, okay, well, this happened. We're
sure.
not going to disturb it, and we're just going to just let it be. And they
Well,
did.
I know the Nazis tore some of that stuff down on trying to get
Out,
out, right? And then
out,
certain camps were torn down and something. But
yeah,
yeah, no, right? But yeah, not some of them. They just left, right? They just left. So all that stuff is still there. Yeah. Oh yeah.
still there.
Yeah,
Everything is
yeah.
still
And
there.
then people, a lot, then I think that the country left that stuff. And yeah.
So
I haven't been to Germany. I haven't been to Europe, so I don't know. But I'd like to
bucket
go.
list.
I'd like
I
to
would.
go. I have a passport. I'm so excited to go. So, but yeah. So the site is there, and the city has prospered and grown, and the
Yes,
German people,
yes,
and now it's a bustling
yes,
city. But that horrible uh, memorial to war is
yes.
just right in the middle of it.
Right in the middle of it.
We have battlefields all over Atlanta
Yes, yes, we do.
as memorials to war,
Yes.
and I mean, and we
So
should. Kennesaw Mountain is they didn't pave over any of that stuff. So I mean, I think
no,
they should leave it. They should absolutely leave it be, and just leave it
agreed.
right there. And this is a history, and people should learn about it, and we should talk about all of it. Absolutely.
100%
Okay,
agreed.
but yeah,
So
just talking, just saying,
no,
just
I
putting that
agree with
out
you
there. Yeah.
100%.
So
So
they took you guys there, but this was in the city that you lived in. This
no, I did not live in Munich. I lived in
okay,
Heidelberg.
okay,
But my dad was on a 30-day leave, and so like I
okay.
said,
It
we
was
just
close
kind of
enough to where you lived, though.
yes,
It was
yes.
a
We
drive away from
actually
where you lived. Yeah.
you could drive, you could take a bus, you could take a train, which is what we did a lot. We took the train a lot to go to, these places.
So did they give you like a tour, or when they took you in there, did they was it just open and they walked you through? Or
No, it's just open.
okay,
They might have tours now.
yeah,
I'm not quite sure. I really
that's so fascinating.
so you know, as I started getting closer to the camps, you start seeing the barbed wire.
Okay,
And it is um gosh, I don't even know if I can articulate the words menacing, frightening, and I can't
yeah,
even articulate how going into, like going and being marched to something like that and seeing that. So we're
yeah,
walking on, and then all of a sudden you get to these gates. And when I looked up Dachau again, for me, the 6-year-old me, these gates were like as tall as like 15 feet, but they're not.
right,
The barbed wire is though.
yeah,
And the only thing I kept asking my mom was, how did this happen? Me being
huh,
in my 6 year, how did this,
yeah.
why didn't they escape? Why didn't they run?
So
And my
many
mom really,
questions. I can imagine so
yeah,
many questions. Yeah,
I had so many questions. Like, how did somebody, how? And so the first thing I noticed walking into, now this might be this, again, this is my 6-year-old self. It might have been sunny on, walking up into Dock Owl, but it was overcast. Walking into though when you as soon as you cross the threshold, everything stopped. Time stopped. No birds. No, you couldn't even hear people talking. And there's people walking around. You couldn't hear the stones. You couldn't hear the gravel on your feet anymore. Time stopped. That's how I felt.
I think
So
this was probably very overwhelming for a 6-year-old, and this is just what you were dealing with, and certainly your memories as well too. Like, I mean, it was, yeah, it's probably
it
a
was
lot.
very traumatic.
It was
It was
a
it was
lot to deal with. Yeah,
very, very, very traumatic.
yeah,
It's probably why I'm in therapy now, come to think of it. Maybe I'll
maybe.
talk to my therapist about this.
Okay. It's a lot
So
for a 6-year-old to deal with. It's a lot for the world to deal with. I think it's a lot for, but I think it should be talked about. And I'm glad it is talked about.
me too.
I think everybody should,
So
know about it. I don't know if that's a quite a day trip for a 6-year-old, but all right.
so um we the first thing I remember very vividly, aside from the gates, was this statue, and it looked like people that were like kind of all together. It's very abstract, and I believe it says, "Let us not forget the history, lest we re or we're doomed to repeat it." I
Okay.
think is what this says. Um, and that just really stuck with me, to this day.
Yeah.
To this day. And so going into the museum, they didn't censor any of the pictures. So all these experiments that were
This is
done
this is
on
Europe, right? Yeah. Yeah.
nothing is censored. So, you know, I was like, did this actually, cause like, I was like, did this actually happen? Cause like, I was dumbfounded, and I kept on asking, how could one man do this? And then we go into the movie theater, and then, you watch a short film and everything like that, and you see the prisoners and stuff like that, and it's very overwhelming. Even now to talk about it, and I'm reaching 50, so you know,
Yeah.
so from in my little 6-year-old brain, I just, my mom was like, this is not like the Berlin Wall where they can just escape. And I was like, but why? But why didn't somebody, why? And I mean, of course, we'll never get an answer to, I mean, we know why. So, um, we go into the barracks where they kept the prisoners, and I saw the uniforms, and I can remember my feet and my whole body just getting so heavy.
Yeah.
Like if I had like someone sitting on my shoulders. Like I just and the more steps that I took, the worse I felt.
Yeah.
So we got out of the I needed air, so we went back out, and then we saw it showed us the gas chambers, which still had a smell to it.
Oh my gosh. Really?
Seriously.
Yeah. Oh wow. That's
Um,
that's that's awful.
and I was like, and I asked my mom, why did these people allow themselves to think that they were going to take showers?
Right.
And
Well,
really,
this is a 6-year-old trying to
I
take
was
all this
trying to,
apart. Yeah.
yeah, trying to parse this and make it make sense
Yeah,
into my, I'm still playing with Barbies, I'm
yeah.
still, I'm still wanting to be a ballerina, uh,
Yeah.
on the road
You're
to
still
being a
wanting to be
Dallas.
a princess.
Well, yeah,
Princess
and
princess ballerina.
okay, but I also wanted to be Wonder Woman and a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. So, I had like all these aspirations, and here
Yes.
you are showing me all of this. Aim high. So, um, then we get to the crematorium, and I couldn't take another step. And for the first time in my life, I got a migraine.
Wow. First headache you ever remember.
Ever remember
And you didn't know what a
migraine?
headache was at that time.
No.
Did you ask your mom what was going on? Like you said, my head hurts, or
Yeah.
what'd you say? Okay.
She actually said my head hurts too.
Yeah. Was your
And
mom
I said,
sensitive at all?
my mom is sensitive.
Okay.
But my dad is more sensitive than
But
my
they
mom is.
but they won't talk about it.
Mm-mm,
And so they probably weren't going to talk about it then either.
mm-mm,
Okay. So you
no.
said, "Mom, my head hurts," and she said,
Yeah.
"Mine too."
Yeah. She
Okay.
said my head hurts. And so it was like that. I was like, okay. So
Okay.
I was like, wow, okay, I guess this is normal. Okay, well, your head hurts, my head hurts. Okay, all right, I guess this is normal. People come in here and their head starts hurting.
People come in here and their heads hurt. Yeah.
And I just remember looking at the gates of the crematorium and full on just, I got super dizzy. I mean, just like a full on, like an adult migraine. So my parents wanted to finish the tour, and I
It's
had the heart.
I'm reading about it here. The tour is about 4 hours. It's not a it's such a big place.
That
And
sounds about right.
yeah, and the 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 words on the gate are not they're the words of the
What are
gate are
they?
the words on the gate are the ones the Nazis put there, and it says work sets you free.
Okay.
So
Oh,
but I
that's
just want you to know
disgusting.
that. I just want you to know that because I kind of knew that, but I there's more than one concentration camp, and I get my names mixed up and sometimes, but
Okay, so can
I
you look up
this
the
yeah, go ahead.
the one that Dachau, the one that says it's on it's on a statue.
Okay,
Like I said, can you look up to see if I got the wording right on that one?
let me see if there's a statue. Um, gate statue. Uh,
Or memoriam
there's
I
a statue of
remember.
the unknown prisoner. Is that what you're talking about?
No,
Does that sound
this I know what you're talking about with that
familiar?
one. That does sound familiar. But I know somewhere it says, do not forget history or you will be doomed to repeat it, or something
That's
along those
yeah.
lines.
International monument. Anyway, yeah. Okay.
It might have, but it
Yeah.
might have been moved, but I know because I know that Berlin now has a Holocaust, and it might,
Memorial.
um, yeah, memorial,
Yeah.
um, a
So
Holocaust memorial.
so you have a headache, and then
Hmm.
your parents want to continue.
Hmm.
What happens?
So the final straw with me was there's this little footbridge that you go over, and it may not be a footbridge. It may be something bigger. I remember it being a footbridge, and then they say this is where the mass graves
I mean,
were.
it's like a field. I mean, it's such a large space. It can't be small.
And I'm looking, and it goes for miles,
Yeah.
and I'm
Oh
like,
God.
and so that was it.
And it's
That
just is it just a field now? And it's just a there's no buildings or stuff. It's just a field, right?
I
I think I've
think
seen this. I think I've seen pictures of this.
No, I think it's still there. I think I know they did a lot of I know Auschwitz has a lot of fields. I
Auschwitz. Yeah.
I know
Auschwitz.
Auschwitz does.
Auschwitz. Yeah.
Auschwitz, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so that was I would say that is when I'm so sorry.
It's okay. He's
Appa,
probably,
nine.
is he sleeping?
Nine.
He was.
Sorry about that. Okay. Appa, nine. Oh, here I am talking about a concentration camp. Yeah, I have my dog in German commands. So,
Well, I mean, you said you lived over there. I mean, you speak it.
so um here is where I believe my third eye just went boosh. It just
So you're looking at this the burial sites and the mass grave, and then so what happened?
I believe I believe that this is where if I wasn't already, going back to, 2 years before that with the experience with the shadow person, this is where I believe my third eye opened.
Okay.
Where I became more sensitive to things. I became more sensitive to energies because I believe with all of my heart that this is where I was introduced to carnal evil, evil in its purest form. I believe
I think a lot of people
that
would agree with you.
and
Yes.
if you're Christian, you can call it demonic, you can call it whatever it is, but I believe that that's where I was introduced to, you know, just extreme
I mean,
evil.
I think the atrocities of the Nazis is I mean, I think that
Is horrific.
where people were going to write in the top five, I think that they would be one. I mean, I
No,
mean,
you're right.
just of what I've
No,
heard, I think that they're probably number one, and what I've and my understanding of our of mankind and things. But there are still horrible things going on. People are still killing each other
yes,
every day,
yes, yes,
and lots of things that we didn't learn about in school happen in other
yes,
places. And then there's
yes.
just, I mean, not to take away from
No,
the
no,
atrocities that have also been committed, but
no.
I, I, I do think that Nazis are one of the most evil things that have ever happened, ever
So,
in our entire written history as a
yeah,
group of human beings.
yeah, as a
Yes.
as a populace, like
And
because they're
it's hard to speak for. It's hard
it.
to. It's just it's
There's
so hard to understand. It's so hard to grasp. I don't. It's so. It's just, how did this happen? Why did this
I
happen? How could this
exactly.
happen?
I continuously
And
asked.
yeah. And
I
as a
continuously asked.
6-year old, I don't even know what I would say to that child. I would have a hard time. And I am trying to think what I would say. I would have
What?
to just, you know, obviously answer their questions, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So, like I said, I think that my third eye
Okay.
just went, why
Yeah.
it just opened itself up because, you know, um, like I said, I still believed in, the fairy tales and, and
Right.
that's
But
when,
this was a very real evil, and
yes,
people
or
did
that I
this
was,
to
yes,
each other. Yes.
yes, exactly. And that was the
To
thing. So
children, to babies.
oh, yes. Oh, that was some of the worst. No, it was all the worst. All of it was the worst, but see, they had
just,
tiny
I can't imagine.
crematoriums.
That's, of course they did. Like, of course they did.
It was
It's so awful. It's okay.
so
Okay. Yep.
so
Maybe you should have given me a disclaimer.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, it's all right.
Okay.
It's just, it's a lot. But I'm thinking about you as a child in this space, and just what you were going through, and what would you say, and what do you say? I think we say that we are absolutely responsible to continue and make sure that these things do not happen again, and
Okay.
to actively take a part in the world that we live in,
Yes, I
and
agree.
absolutely, no matter what, happens. This cannot happen again, and that
No,
and nothing like this should happen again.
should ever happen
And
again.
and
No.
and we have to talk about it and have a history and have an established conversation with children and
Yes.
with everyone, and especially with children, and say this is something that happened and we have to talk about it. And now what age to talk about it, I think it's varying, and I don't, this is a lot for a
Right.
6-year-old, but obviously your parents, this was important to them, and I understand, and they
Yeah.
wanted to take you. And also I think also, and your parents aren't here to defend themselves or to say what they were thinking, but here's what I'm thinking they were thinking, and I want to speak to this fact. You were living in Germany as a
Mhm.
6-year-old, and
Mhm.
obviously this stuff is going to come up, and they
Mhm.
wanted to be like, here,
Mhm.
this is where we live,
Mhm.
this is what happened where we live, and this is reality, and we want to be the people to tell you about it. So we're going to show you
Mhm.
everything that everyone's talking about, and we're going to talk about it and open up a discussion. And I don't know if that's what they were doing, but that's what, it makes sense now that I'm thinking about it, because
We.
you don't want kids in the schoolyard telling you about this stuff. You want your
Mm-mm.
parents to tell you about this stuff. So that makes sense.
Exactly.
That makes more
Yeah.
sense.
So, and that's, and that's the direction
Yeah.
that I do. I can full on agree. I'm pretty sure listeners are going to be like, oh my gosh,
This
but
episode, we should put a
like, what
warning
the
on this
hell?
episode.
So,
Yeah,
so,
no, it's all right.
uh,
No, it's relevant to your
but
experience, and this is something that happened. So I mean, it's all part of it.
the
So
So let me just say
sure.
that from a very early age, I had to learn about like terrorism as well, because there was still factions that still they did not want Americans there.
Okay.
They were still putting bombs in trash cans.
Wow.
That they knew where Americans, would hang out and stuff like that. And they
Oh my
told us
gosh.
to blend in as much as we could because, I mean, you could spot an American a mile away. So, I learned about terrorism
So your
at
parents
an
were addressing
extremely,
all kinds of things on
yes,
safety levels as well.
yes. So I learned OPSEC, the word OPSEC.
So your parents are military though.
Yeah.
This is all because your dad was working on the base there. Yeah,
hmm hmm Yeah.
yeah.
So
You guys had to live in Germantown, so
yeah,
you
we had to,
weren't
and
always
then
on base. Yeah, yeah.
no, we weren't always on. Yeah, we weren't always on base. But so that was my introduction into absolute carnal evil.
Yes.
And like I said, and that's when I believe that my third eye just kind of, because you can't have one thing without the other. You can't have good without bad.
Right.
You can't
And
have,
and
so
and you, there's, I would imagine there's all kinds of energy there and all kinds of remaining energy there, like
absolutely
beyond
residual energy.
beyond
Oh my gosh.
beyond like an insane amount of concentration
Oh yes.
of, if
Oh,
and so if that is true, and if our theories are true, you know
so much residual
yeah,
energy. Oh,
yeah.
so
So
much.
and this is all theoretical, I understand, but like you know uh that's definitely a place when we do it. People talk about battlefields having residual energy and
hmm
lots of energy. I cannot imagine the amount that Dachau would have.
and
That's like that's uh, uh, yeah.
and not to
There's not.
take
It's
away
probably
from
off the scales. Like
anybody's experiences or take away from any other atrocities that have
no,
happened or
no.
anything like that.
We're talking. We're having a conversation, and
This is
this is
just
what happened
my,
to you. Yes.
yeah, this is just kind of like you said earlier, like kind of like my origin story, like
Yeah.
how,
Yeah. Your
I
origins.
got, how I got mixed up with the, the paranormal and everything like that.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of a hard lesson to learn that
Wow.
people can actually do
It
that.
was a hard conversation and a hard, even
That's what I
a
said.
hard
That's
memory to share. Like it's just.
and I don't
I think
I
that I think that you putting me there through the eyes of a 6-year-old, just I don't know why it just really hit me. So, you know,
well,
it's all
it's a
right.
hard it's a
Yeah.
it's a hard thing to talk about, and I
Yeah.
don't do it with I don't do it with many people,
We
and so
just did
you're
it with
like,
all of the Ghost Nation.
well,
So
I
we
know,
did
no, 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 no,
Paranormal Nation.
but
So we're all
well,
here with you.
well,
But no, I
well,
think it's relevant. I think it's relevant, and it is part of your origin story for sure. It's just I think it's hard to talk about those things at any point,
yes,
and just
yeah. Having those hard conversations
yeah.
is, and saying, yes, I have been
So
here.
so then your mom, so that your eye, you awareness opened, and then you guys
Hmm.
left. Did anything else happen after that? Did your parents say anything, or there was probably not a lot of talking? Actually,
There
there's
was not a lot
probably
of
not a
talking.
lot of talking. Yeah.
There was not a lot of talking. There was just not a lot of talking. It
No.
was just, it was just, this happened,
Yeah.
and don't ever forget that it happened, and we can't let it happen again. And it was just kind of like, because,
Yep.
my, my mom's the talker. My dad is a man of very few words. And so, he was just like, we can't let this happen again. And so I was just like, well, okay, I'm six, but sure. I won't, I
I'll do
won't,
what I
I
can
won't.
at
Yeah.
6 years old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll
No, for
OPSEC.
sure.
Remember OPSEC, So,
Now, what does OPSEC
um,
mean?
it's a safety term. Like it's a, gosh, what is the acronym?
Operational security.
Operational security.
Oh,
Yeah. So when we were in Europe, when we're talking on the phone, we couldn't talk about, if we had to talk about mundane things like, oh, hi, yeah, how's the weather going? I hear it's going to snow. Oh, great. We couldn't
it's
talk
a whole
about,
thing. Oh, sure.
yes,
Okay.
yes, like, oh, yeah, oh, grandma's sick. Oh, well, that's terrible. Yeah, oh, so what are you wearing to school tomorrow? That's the type,
Yeah,
we
no
couldn't,
one wants to talk about. I just saw we just unloaded 10 planes and we're
right,
putting them together in
exactly.
the
Oh,
hangar.
right.
That exactly. Okay, yeah, no, that I understand that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
sure.
So,
And kids
so
don't know. They'd be like, "Merg, dad talked about planes at work today." Yeah, no, you're not supposed to tell your wife that stuff either, right?
exactly.
To keep her safe or whatever.
Yep, yep,
Like, oh
yep.
man. Okay, well,
Yeah.
sure.
So
Yeah. Okay.
learned OPSEC at a very, I mean, it was just kind of impounded, which
My dad was
into
in
my,
my dad was in the military briefly, but we're not a military family. I don't know anything about this kind of stuff. Michelle was military brat, born
oh,
on
okay.
Fort Huachuca, and
Oh,
then
okay.
she also lived in
There's
Germany.
time.
So, but I hear about it all the time, and her and her sister talk about it all the time. So, but
Yeah,
I am not aware of
miss
these
it.
things. I don't know. Yeah,
I miss it.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna say there was a lull. There was a lull there after that experience. There's not a lot to that I can tell you paranormally. That it kind of got to the point where there's people I liked and there's people I didn't like, and I couldn't really explain it. And then, come to find out that, oh, well, he was a really bad man. That's why I didn't want him hugging me, or, um, so what would you call it? Like precognition or something like that?
I
I
mean,
don't know.
just instinct,
I
like
wouldn't-
just kids' instincts.
Yeah, but mine was,
Yours a little more on like a feeling in your in
yeah,
your in
like
your
that
dwelling in your head.
gut,
Yeah.
like, they call it like women's intuition and stuff like that. I believe that after going to Dachau, that kind of amped up even.
Do you find that from 6 o'clock, the age of 6 on, that once your your sensitivities were kind of supercharged, that now you do you find that the things you believe about people on a peripheral basis or find out that they're true? Is that
Oh,
something over
yeah.
and over
Oh,
again?
oh, yeah. It's
Oh
been
wow.
proven over and over and over and over and over
Okay.
and over again. I mean,
I
and
I think that you're closer to a medium than you think you are,
I
but that's
don't know.
okay. That's okay. But I mean, from what I've read about what mediums are, but I think that maybe not, because it's still peripheral. You don't have a like a direct line to it,
Mm-mm.
it's still peripheral. But
I think it just,
yeah,
I think it,
'cause I am not an expert on this stuff. My reading
yeah.
and my research on it is
And
minimal, so I'm just curious. But what I've read, so but
Well,
Um,
I mean, I'm entrenched in it, and it's
yeah,
it's a passion of mine, and I'm still kind of like
right. It's not a focused.
wonder.
It's not a focused. It's not a focused
Right.
ability.
It
It's
just
kind of
kind of it just
peripheral stuff.
if there's a if there's like if there's energy or if someone wants to get my attention, trust me, they're gonna get my attention. Like they they know. I've been told many times by by other mediums and other psychics and stuff like that and empaths. They're like you're kind of like a beacon, like you know
So
they can
they can sense you and they come and talk to you in rooms, like in groups of people. They find you.
yeah well I
Other
mean
sensitive people find
other
you.
sense yes I kid
That's
you not
cool.
and and you can like
No, I believe you.
my husband
That's
it's happened
cool.
in front of him and he's been what is going
Right.
on? Like, oh my gosh, what did I make? What did I get myself into? Like, so, so I was like,
Fascinating.
sorry, I
So
can't
six.
help it.
So age of six on. So then
Hmm.
age of six on. So then what is the next paranormal thing that happened?
Okay, so then we moved from Heidelberg, Germany. And then we moved to Colorado Springs.
Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So we found this beautiful house, and the rent was on point. It was perfect. And so my parents were like, "We'll take it." I think I want to say probably. Let me see. There is 3 bedrooms on top, and then there is a staircase with a basement. There's a spoiler. Um, and
Dang
then
it.
that
They put
that.
they put April in the basement again.
Oh my gosh, how rude.
How
Okay.
rude.
Wow. Thank you for pointing that out. Okay, now I'm gonna have to talk with my mom about
This
that.
child talks a lot
Rude.
about ghosts and spirits and stuff. Put her in the
And you
basement.
put me in the basement again.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. So
This child asks a lot of
the,
questions. Let's put her room far away from her.
we don't want to answer anymore. We
I don't want to
we don't
answer any
want
more questions.
to go
Oh
in the
my
basement. Go
gosh.
in the basement. Go in the basement.
Uh,
So the very first night we were there, uh, we didn't have anything. Our stuff hadn't come yet, because they will pack what you're taking and then first, and that will get shipped off, and then that'll get on the shipping container. And then as soon as you get to the place that you're staying, that'll be the stuff that like comes off, like, beds and stuff and clothes and stuff like that, and whatever and whatnot. And the rest of it will go on another shipping container that'll take longer to get to the place. So
okay.
we didn't have any of our stuff, so we got these sleeping bags, and we were sleeping in the living room, and I felt something crawl on me. This is not paranormal, but this is just kind of like an introduction to this house. I felt something crawling on me, and my parents turned on the light, and oh my gosh, the floor was covered with roaches.
Goodness gracious.
And it was an empty house. There was
Well,
nothing there.
what is where do those roaches come from? What is going on?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Bah.
So we got an
This is
exterminator
Colorado
in there.
too. I don't know what the roaches are like in Colorado.
I don't either, but oh no, I do.
Wow.
I was, and so they got an exterminator. So we got the place fumigated and everything like that. And then our stuff came, and my mom was like, "You're going in the basement."
All right.
Now,
With all of the experiences you've already had in the basement, geez.
so let's think about this. Perfect house, perfect price, perfect bedrooms. What
Bugs.
could go wrong? Bugs,
Bugs.
bugs. So I was like, okay, so the basement creeped me out.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't, but it was kind of like almost a furnished basement. So it had like had 3 bedrooms. The very last bedroom, I never went in.
Wait, there were 3 bedrooms down there? You had your own
Yeah.
wing.
Yeah. I had my own wing. Yeah. Yeah. and I
I
still
mean,
got stuck in the
that's
basement.
kind of
You
cool, but
and then it had a completely furnished bathroom, which I never used.
what? Why didn't you use the bathroom
I
down there?
don't know. I don't know. I
Oh, they
don't
told you you
know.
couldn't, or what?
No, no, I just didn't want to use it. I was freaked out. I was scared. I
Okay.
was
Yeah, yeah.
I was 8.
Yep.
So I was 8.
You went all the way upstairs every time you used the bathroom?
Yes.
That sucks.
Drove my parents crazy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then I was like, okay, I'm gonna sleep with the light on, and they're like, no.
Oh, jeez.
And they were just like, why? And I at this point in time, I had every night. Well, I mean, okay, you know what? No, I'm not gonna generalize it. A lot of nights, uh, these stairs creaked. So what it sounded like someone was walking up and down the stairs. I'm not going to say it was
Wow.
every night. I'm just going to say, and I would
So,
hear footsteps in the
so,
in the basement.
so when you heard these footsteps, did they start at the top and go to the bottom, or did they just walk a little bit and stop in the middle? Like what kind of, what kind of walking? Do you remember what it was?
It was
Just
like,
somebody on the stairs, and it wasn't your parents. That's what's the
yeah,
worst
that
part.
that that's all, that's it. And then
Yeah.
sometimes, I would hear my name,
Oh my
and
God.
I go, yes. And then I'd like, and this is during the day too. So sometimes this is like, well,
Ew.
at night was, was the stairs creaking.
Yeah.
I heard somebody go up and down the stairs, and then I would hear the steps in the basement, because the basement it had hardwood floor, so you could hear, I mean, these
Yeah.
footsteps.
And you were isolated in your bed still.
Yes, yes.
So it wasn't you making these creaks. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So I did ask my mom. I did ask her. I was just like, are you coming to check on me? Are you, because at this point
Please
in
say yes.
time,
Please say yes. Please
you're
say it's
right.
you. Please say
Yeah,
yes.
please say you're coming in the middle of the night, just to make sure
No,
that I'm okay and
it's
nobody's
not.
abducted me.
It's not her.
It's not.
Uh, uh. So wait. So it would come down the stairs and then come into so I guess
It
I'm
would come
asking, were
it
the
would come
footsteps that come down the stairs and then the creaks on the main
in.
floor once it reached the landing connected? Was it like, here it comes, now it's here down here with me, or was it
Hmm.
just all night, just a footfall here, a footstep on the stairs here?
No, it was
It
somebody
was,
going up the
yeah, and
stairs.
then coming into the room.
And then would,
That's why you thought it was your mom.
yeah. And then I would hear it, because like I said, the bait the bait the basement, if that, let's call it what it is. And the basement had
Yeah,
hardwood floor.
yeah.
So you could hear the footsteps. And I was like, oh my gosh. So even if I had to pee in the middle of the night, I would hold it.
Your bed was an island. You were
It was
barricaded into the
sanctuary.
bed. That was it.
It,
You were just
it was
locked in.
sanctuary.
Oh
It
my
was
gosh. Oh
sanctuary.
my gosh. No, it wasn't. You were stuck down there. Oh, yikes.
Isn't that terrible?
How was your sleep? How was your sleep though? Did you get sleep? Did you have
No.
sleep problems?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I had sleep
Yes.
problems.
You're
Okay, as a matter of fact,
probably falling asleep in school.
I had to have a sleep study.
I'll tell you exactly what her problem is. You put her in the haunted ass basement and then told her that she needed to pray about it and get over it, and it's fine.
Yes.
It's not
She's like,
fine.
Jesus will protect you.
Oh my.
Okay.
Mm.
And then, and here's the other one. You're not praying hard enough.
Oh, of course. Yeah. No.
You're right. Okay. So
But here's the thing: your parents are sensitive as well,
yes,
and
yes,
and for
yeah,
mm.
yes, yes.
Ah,
Now, a conversation we had later on in my teens, my mom told me I should have never put you in the basement.
I'm sure she felt bad about it.
And I was like, well, I'm not sleeping in another basement, okay?
Yeah. So were there any other paranormal experiences in that house in any
No,
other parts of the house?
no,
Dang
not to
it.
my,
It
no,
was all just
I
downstairs
know.
with you.
Exactly. I
Crap.
know. I wish. And I was
Maybe
trying to
you're a
think
beacon.
so
Maybe you're
hard.
a beacon for this stuff as well. And maybe other people do not experience this stuff. But you know what? But your uncle, though, he did experience it, though. So
Yeah.
that's, I don't know. I don't know. But
Yeah.
maybe you are a beacon for this stuff in isolated circumstances, or because you are sensitive, you're a little more sensitive than other people. But or maybe your uncle's also sensitive, right? So your whole family's sensitive,
It
and no
might
one
be,
wants
I
to
don't,
talk about it.
but
Like
no,
that's just
nobody's
so
going to talk
frustrating.
about it. Nobody,
Oh
it is very
man.
frustrating to know these things, to know
Any
that you know,
yeah.
but you don't want to talk about it.
Any shadow people or any? Did you see anything
No,
down there?
I never see it. No,
But
I
you
never
heard it
saw
say your
anything, but I
name.
heard it. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so any conversation at all, or just your name?
Nope. Just my
Yeah.
name.
Oh my God. In the
Just my
middle of
name.
the day, too. In the middle of
In
the
the middle
day,
of the
too.
day, too. Yeah. In the middle of the day.
Did you
Yeah.
play down there? Was all your toys and stuff
No,
down there, or
no, I would not play down there.
you
No.
were just supposed to sleep down there? And
I,
you
I,
only slept
I,
down there.
I prefer to only sleep down there. I did. As a matter of fact, I didn't even want to get dressed in that room. I would ask my
What was
mom if
going
I
on
could get,
upstairs? Was there other places for you to sleep up there that they just
there
were like, no, we're
totally
gonna.
was.
I don't
There
understand.
was 3 bedrooms upstairs. It was just my
They
mom,
were
my dad, my,
unoccupied. They were unoccupied bedrooms upstairs, and they wanted you to sleep in the basement.
yes.
Did they ever explain that?
No.
I don't understand. Yeah, especially
No.
when you were like, okay, so especially when you're like, it's, to the point where, are you coming down to my room at nights? I hear noises, I hear people walking, and I mean, this is a conversation you had with all seriousness, not just, I hear noises, I am scared. Like you were like, Mom, are you coming in at night? Like this is an 8-year-old talking, and then for them to push through with the sleep study instead of be like, she's scared to death down there and
Hmm.
let's let her sleep upstairs with us.
Hmm.
I'm sure you asked.
I
I'm
did.
sure
I
you
did.
voiced these things.
Continuously protesting,
I don't understand people
protesting.
sometimes. I don't
And
understand.
as a matter of fact, I would stay in the I would stay in the living room until I got tired.
Yeah.
Because
Till MASH
there was,
came on, then you had to
yeah,
go
yeah,
downstairs.
there you go. Actually, I love that show.
I knew
Yeah.
that sometimes I always wanted to stay up and watch Saturday Night Live, and they would let me watch Saturday Night Live every once in a while. So I did see some early episodes of Saturday Night Live with my parents, and I love
With it.
that. But it was really rare. It was not every week, and but that was a treat to watch Saturday Night Live with my folks. But every once in a while. But that was when I got older too. So, but definitely when MASH came on, it was time to
Yeah,
say
yes.
brush your teeth and go to bed. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yep. Yep. So
My
yeah.
parents would put me to bed in the daytime. Like there was still light outside, kids playing and stuff, like older kids. And my parents were like, "No, you gotta go to bed." But it was like 7:30. It was like 8, you know. But I was still like,
I would be
why
like, but
is
the street lights aren't
this?
on.
There's not even the light. The sun is out. They're like, it's
Joy.
it's going down. It's not out. It's going down. I'm like, there are kids in my yard running across. Those older kids are still out there
Come
playing. I
on,
don't want to
Mom.
go to bed.
Just let me go when the street lights are on. Come on now. Come on.
At least let it be dark outside. They're like, you have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to catch the bus. You gotta go to bed. I'm
I
like,
can sleep on the bus.
I did sleep on the bus.
There you go.
Heck yeah. I dragged myself to the bus and threw myself on the bus and slept till school. Absolutely. What am I gonna do on the bus? This is a great time to sleep.
Oh, it was
Um, it was just me and like
okay.
3 other kids for a while on the bus. So they were older too. So then I did sleep on the bus a lot.
Okay, so
Ah, but yeah. Golly,
so
why in
there
the
was that.
world? Yeah, why in the world would they?
I wish I really,
She has sleep
and these are
problems.
questions.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
does.
yeah. They did a sleep study. They
Did you tell the sleep study people that the basement was haunted?
well, I tried, but
I
nobody's gonna
wish.
listen. I mean,
I wish
again,
you did. I wish you did.
you know,
Yeah.
Now I've done another sleep study, as an adult, and now they ask you, do you feel like someone's in your room?
Oh,
Like
okay.
that's an actual question now. So I was like, oh, a little bit more
Oh,
open-minded. Maybe.
okay.
Yeah. Okay, so during this time it was there was so we moved out of that house and we got base housing.
Oh, you did get put on the base. All right.
Yeah, we got put on a base in Colorado Springs. And no paranormal, nothing happened. Now, then let me tell you, my brother, my brother actually was the one that had the paranormal experience in that house.
Oh,
So, he was acting out. Oh God, my brother was the worst kid. And he'll even admit it to this day. And my parents will be like, "Oh my gosh, you were so terrible." Um, And he's like, yeah, I know. I don't know why I was that way. I was like, well, yeah, I can, yeah, you're. So, he was acting out. I don't know why he was acting out, but my mom, I don't know. Okay, this is just, I mean, okay, uh, you know, he was acting out, and my mom turned off all the lights in the house, and she said to him, "I hope you see the devil."
what?
Yes.
Why?
She said, you are being so bad. Again, I grew up fire and brimstone.
Oh my
I
gosh.
hope you see the devil.
If my
Uh,
with parents telling me to see the devil, I might have seen. I might have. Kids have
well,
pretty active imagination. Oh my God.
well, my brother let out this blood curdling scream. And he says, I see him. I see him. I'm so sorry.
Oh
Turn
my
on the
God.
lights. Turn on the lights. I see him. I see him. And he, when the lights went back on, he was as white as a sheet, and he was just sitting there, and he was just like shaking, like, one of those little dogs that like shake at everything. A leaf blows, they shake, just one of those little shaky dogs.
Meanwhile,
And
your dad's putting horns on the cat and is hiding behind the couch going, shh, shh.
exactly. So
I
it was a
saw him. He's
few.
a tabby Tom. He's got horns. Oh my God.
We did have a cat now, and so it could very well could have been the reflection of the
Oh my
cat
gosh.
underneath the bed or something like that. So I mean, hey, that could be a debunkable thing, but to this day, he will still say that he saw yellow
Holy
glowing eyes staring
moly.
at
That's
him.
so terrifying. Oh my
And
gosh.
he did tell me that it was that he believed that little like apartment was haunted, and I never I never I never I never got any EBGBs or anything like that. And this is also during the time I was watching movies like Nightmare on Elm Street and The Exorcist,
So now
and
you're like
you know
11, 12, 13?
yes, yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, so I'm watching these movies
Yeah.
that my mom's not letting me watch, Jason and what was it, Halloween, and
Freddy,
then
Michael
Freddy, and
Myers,
yeah, Deb,
Jason.
Michael, all of them, yeah. And
No,
then
nothing scared me as bad as Aliens. Uh,
oh my
when
gosh,
I
I
was
know,
watching
right?
those other
My
movies, and they were always on HBO and stuff. It's
gosh.
like they knew
Yes.
kids. It's like they knew kids would be watching that stuff on
Oh my
sleepovers and
gosh.
stuff. They're like, "Oh, we'll put on." It was always like 11, 10:30 at night. It'll be like
Yep.
Friday the 13th Part 3, and it's like,
ex-
what? Why would they
Yep.
play this again on HBO? They
Yep.
must have known. But Aliens scared me the most.
Aliens was, yeah. Yes.
I mean,
I have.
Freddy
Oh,
was Freddy was
I
pretty
would have
scary,
to
but
agree with that. I really
Freddy was pretty scary.
would.
But as far as like seeing TV at other kids' house because they had cable and I did not, and my parents
Yeah.
didn't let me watch that stuff.
Yeah. Neither did mine. Yeah.
I,
Of
me- I
course. I was
remember
going over.
I remember they rented Lost Boys too. That
Oh,
was
that was
really
that's one of my
scary.
favorite
That
movies.
was awesome. That
It's one
was
of
so
my
cool.
favorite
I think I
movies.
saw that in like seventh, eighth grade, and it was like, oh, this is awesome. Yeah, we
It's
went and
so
rented it at the
cool.
video store. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
But
Yes.
Aliens was on HBO or something, and it was just terrifying. It was
It
so
was terrifying. Yeah,
frightening.
that was. And that wasn't that one of like the first movies, like Alien movie. I mean, I know they had like,
Yeah, the first two. Yeah, I'm talking about the second one. I didn't see. I didn't see Alien in 1979 until I was older, but I saw Aliens
Okay.
on HBO because it probably came out in there 87, 88. I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah,
I
I'm
think
not
it's
quite sure, but
89 maybe, but yeah, yeah. But I
yeah,
saw it.
and
I was young. I was really young. So yeah, yeah. Terrifying.
yeah,
So you were watching these movies
my
and living in the barracks, and brother saw the devil when mom turned the
brother saw a
lights
devil,
on.
so yeah, and he will swear to this day. And and now I'm like thinking maybe it was a light reflecting on a cat, but it did the job. You know,
So he got it together?
yeah, he got it
Oh my
together.
god.
Isn't that terrible fear as a
Poor kid.
yeah.
Goodness gracious. Your mom was at her wit's end, apparently.
She was really, I mean, yep, he was a handful. I mean, they got kind of lucky with me. So it wasn't so much a
Well, you weren't
handful.
around, you were in the basement.
I was too busy being petrified by ghosts and
Except when you had to
shadow
pee. You
figure.
had running up the stairs at 10 o'clock at night because she has to pee. We'll put her to bed at 8. And she's
I did
taken
not.
upstairs. What is happening? Go downstairs.
So she would be like, "You have your own bathroom."
She'll like
I'm
show
not
you where
using
it
that
is. You know
bathroom.
that it's right here, you know.
Oh
Oh
my
my
gosh. So
God.
then, okay. And
But you'd
then,
take your clothes and go upstairs. You would get
yeah,
dressed upstairs. You didn't want to be
totally,
in there.
totally,
Yeah.
totally. That should no. And
Wait, did they
my
make you
toys,
take a shower down there too? Was that where they were like,
there
this is your
was a
bathroom, take a shower
full,
there? Or
I said no. I
so
was
you were
like,
like, no, I'm using the bathroom straight
no.
up upstairs. The one that
Yeah, I
everyone
was like,
else uses. I'm not interested in my own bathroom. Thank you.
mm-mm,
Good for you.
mm-mm, mm-mm. I was like, no, mm-mm. No, you've put me in the basement too many times now.
Oh my
Shit always
gosh.
goes wrong.
Oh
Mm-mm.
my gosh.
No,
So all
mm-mm.
right, so nothing happened. Nothing happened except for y'all saw the devil with the barracks. All right,
Okay,
or
so
army
this is
housing. Army housing.
yeah, it's okay. I know what you meant. Okay, so unfortunately, this is also during the time when my grandmother was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Okay.
So we would take trips to from Colorado to California,
Yeah.
and there was there was what I thought even up to last year, I thought there was a carving of a Native American chief.
What? Where? At your
Spoiler.
grandmother's house?
Yes,
Did you
spoiler.
watch Creep Show at some point when you were a little kid, or
I'm
was
trying
that
to think.
Creep
Like
Show
I
or Creep
watched
Show 2?
so
But I can't
much.
remember. But
I
um,
watched so many. Like because my friend was just all about. My mom, of course, wouldn't let me.
wait. So
But
where
my
was there was a wooden Indian carving at your grandma's house?
yeah. So I thought.
Okay. What?
So yeah. Um. So
What?
during Christmas time,
Okay.
we put up the tree and everything like that because we knew our grandmother was close to, she was already having hospice come in and
Okay.
everything like that, and she was very 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 close, and we all knew. So we tried to have the as many holidays as we could with her. So
Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
so so the corner that the native was, he moved, to another corner of the Christmas tree, and I was just like, oh, okay, cool. All right, hey, I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think. I thought nothing of it. Nothing of it. It wasn't until I would have to say maybe a year ago, because I was like, hey, Mom, I have to know what did my grandparents do with that big statue in their living room? My mom was like, what statue? And I was like, oh, Mom, come on. There is the Native American chief with the headdress and war paint, the whole nine yards. Where did he go? Who has him? Is he in storage? What did they? There was never any native. And I'm like, oh, shut up. So my dad says, no, I know what you're talking about.
Oh,
I saw him too.
oh my gosh. So wait, he would stand so still you thought he was a statue and he would just be there in the background when you were walking around?
With his arms crossed and everything.
Oh my God. Wait, this is in California?
Hmm?
Woo. Woo. But he just stood there.
Mhm. Never got
And
the EBGBs.
he moved. You sort of got the heebie-jeebies?
No,
You never went up to this statue and examined it? You never went, oh cool, this is a Native American statue, this is cool, and you went and just looked at it? I would have walked
no,
right up to it.
because
I would have definitely been intrigued by that.
it
Especially at my grandmother's house. I'd have been like, what is this? This is awesome.
it just never occurred to me.
Holy moly. Were there
I
other
know, right?
knickknacks like that? Were there any other Native American
Yes,
knickknacks?
there was other native
Of Native
relics in
Americans,
the
yeah.
house.
Okay.
In the house, and so I just thought it was just, they just like, you know, the
But
the culture,
he never moved.
removed.
And he looked wooden to you?
He looked almost corporeal. I'm
Yeah.
thinking almost corporeal.
Yeah.
Almost.
There was a wax figure of Native American in your grandmother's living room and you didn't go up and look at it as a child?
At this point in time, I've been put in the basement so many times. I was just like, I'm just gonna stop touching shit. Just don't open it.
I would have taken the man's tomahawk. I would have pulled with his belt. I would have
My
touched his
gosh.
headdress. I would have been all over that thing. My parents
No,
wouldn't have been able to stop me.
no,
Oh Lord, I'm a terrible child and I didn't listen to anybody. I would have been like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like,
no.
tell me
I
more
think
about this.
I'm
Grandma,
I'm
why is the statue here? Holy
nope,
moly.
nope.
Holy moly.
I think
Holy
at that point in
moly.
time, I think I have this
Also,
whole
yeah,
thing
because
where
your grandmother was dying, and that was a big deal. So you probably you
I
probably
didn't.
behaved and did not talk about it.
Yes,
Oh, that makes sense.
yes,
No, that makes
yes,
sense. That makes sense. So wait, so you would go over there. You went over there for short periods of time, and maybe
yes.
the first time you were over there, and then that was one of the last times you were there. Like maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And it's not like
we
you
went
hung out there. Did you sleep
back
over
and
there?
forth. Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
mean, it
Yeah. So you
really
saw
was.
this guy. You saw him standing there at different times of the
Mhm.
day.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just thought it was
That's
just no. I just really thought,
oh my gosh. Yeah,
I really
I would have definitely been
did.
investigating that.
I think I was just
It's
tired of
awesome.
just opening shit and having stuff happen and being put in the basement so many times. I
Well,
just
your
think I
brother
was,
saw the devil on the
no.
army base, so I would
Yeah. So,
yeah,
I mean, I think
behave
I was just
ourselves.
like, yeah, there was, there's
Oh my
a
gosh,
right place.
April.
So what else?
Oh my gosh,
What?
April.
I know. I know. So come to
Also,
find
why did
out
that spirit just choose to remain still and not you could see him what? You could
after,
just see him standing there and he just
after,
chose not to move and then he changed places and then
yeah, when the
you
Christmas
were
tree went
like,
up, he
meh.
changed places to
Yeah,
the
he was
other,
like,
and I was like, no.
I'll just stand over here. So look, here's the thing with things moving, like the keys you were talking about and
Mm-hmm.
poltergeist activity, you never see on a security camera just shit like moving from one room to another. Just this is what I want to see. You always see ghosts and you always see shadow people and stuff like that. People have footage of that, but never just, somebody's car keys just from one room to the other, just making their
Oh,
way to the other room, because the ghost took them and he's going to rehide them or whatever. You never see that. You never see that, but you absolutely
you're
would.
right.
In fact, it would probably pick up on a set of keys better than it would a disappearing apparition or a slightly materialized thing like a set of car keys coming into a motion sensor should pick right up, you know?
Yeah, I wish.
But
I
I'm
mean,
just that's always interesting. But for a fully formed thing in the corner at different times of the day, and he was just standing there.
Yeah, with his arms, always with his arms crossed, war paint, everything, whole 9
You were
yards.
16.
No, no. I was 12.
You're 12. Yeah,
I think I was 12. When did wait. It was 80. It was 86 when the Challenger exploded, right?
I think so. Yeah, I was in 3rd grade.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. So yeah. So
I'm 48.
okay. Oh,
75.
I'm 47 and
Okay.
so okay, so yeah, so yeah. Yeah,
That
so
is, he was
I
fully standing there
yeah,
in front of
arms
you
crossed.
guys,
And
at
but
different
come to
times of the
find
day.
out,
He was never there.
this apparition has appeared to all of my family, my uncles on my dad's side.
Okay, do tell.
Okay, so um there's one uncle who hasn't confirmed it. There's another uncle who actually saw it lying on the couch.
He was taking a break from standing all the time.
Yeah, so he came in, he said he came into the room and there was again a chief
Yeah.
with his arms crossed lying on the couch. And I didn't know. Okay, so
Oh,
I had never heard
my
this story.
goodness.
Now, mind you, I heard these stories like, later, much later on. And I'm like, it would have been nice to know.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And when you asked your mom, what about that Native American man statue? That you were older when you asked that question. You didn't
Yes.
say anything when you were a kid.
No.
I would
No.
have been.
No.
They would have had to. I would have gotten in trouble because I would have been
I
touching that statue. I would have been in so much trouble.
I
I would have
said
been
my mom said
fascinated with a full 8 foot, like a person standing there statue. That is a
totally was,
cool.
but
That is a
I mean,
cool
yeah.
statue.
Well, I thought it was
I want
too.
to
I
see
mean,
that.
but
That's awesome. Not 8 foot.
it was
That shadow person was 8 foot that you were
oh,
talking
that
about.
shadow person was 8 foot. Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
But this was,
no,
just 5'8", 5'9",
yeah,
just a
5'8", 5'9",
adult
yeah,
person
yes,
standing there. Yeah, that's
an
crazy.
adult, yes, and
That's
with war
crazy.
paint and the whole,
All right,
the whole
so
9 yards.
that's also something insane to have in your house and not talk about it. Like, what is happening?
Yeah.
But okay. I know
So
your grandmother was passing away and there was probably not a lot of conversation, but if you slept there and spent time there while you were staying there, so there's conversation, people talk, and I would have definitely talked about that. I would have been like, what's up with the statue? Like, that's
I
awesome.
my dad's side of the family holds their secrets to their chest like you cannot believe. You can't get those people to talk for nothing. Now you put a bottle of tequila, all
Yeah.
right, here we go rolling,
Wait, so
but
what did they say? They said they saw the Native American chief and that they did see him.
it would blink and it would disappear. It just,
Wow.
I don't, yeah. And so,
He didn't
each,
disappear on you because you would have
no,
noticed him
or
moving.
my dad, or my
Yeah.
dad, or my
Yeah.
dad.
Wait, so what happened when he was on the couch? Did he get up? What happened? Did he
I
just
don't,
disappear?
I don't know. Oh,
You
no,
didn't
no,
hear
no.
the
And
end of
then
that story?
I never heard the end of the story. I'm telling you,
Ah!
my father, they hold, I'm telling you, they will, oh,
God.
them and their secrets. I'm like, come on.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like almost 50. You're leaving all this stuff open ended. I mean, this is just not fair. Why? Why is this happening? Why did this happen? How did this happen? What's going on here? So uh yeah, so then then my grandmother passed away and they moved. And
What happened to that Native American chief
who
statue?
knows? I don't know.
What Native American chief statue?
Exactly.
Oh my
Exactly.
God.
My dad knew though. My dad knew.
Oh
My
my
dad knew.
gosh.
Isn't as a matter of fact, he even shared a picture of what it looked like. Not that he had a picture, but just a picture, like, of a statue. And he's like, is it this? Because this is who I saw. And I said, yes, full war paint, whole 9 yards,
Yeah.
everything like that. So, I finally got him to admit to that, because I don't even know what made me think of what the hell happened to that
I've
native
never heard of
statue.
statue apparitions. That's a new one. I want to hear more about.
I want to know if anybody else has had this
Yeah,
happen. I really
yeah.
do,
I've
because
never. That's a
okay, bullshit.
That's a fully formed apparition that is solidly there for a long
Almost
period of time.
corporeal,
You walk
almost.
you walk out of the room, you come back, he's still there.
Yep, almost corporeal, but
I don't
I
even
don't.
and didn't
But
move the whole time. And then it's like, well, I
and
don't even know.
also, I was so
Then you
afraid
thought
of
it was a
being
statue.
a bad girl, and so I didn't touch anything. I didn't, because I was so afraid, because my brother saw the devil.
No, I understand. That makes
You
sense.
know,
Yeah. Your mom was not to be trifled with. I get it.
exactly.
I get it.
Mom can summon the devil. You
Yeah.
know what? We're just going to no. You say don't touch anything in the house. I'm not touching
Roger that.
anything.
I
You know,
won't even touch the Indian statue. What Indian statue? I have to go to bed now. I'll be downstairs.
yeah, in the basement again.
Oh my God.
Um,
Yikes.
so
That's crazy. Oof. All right. Well, that is part one of April Schwartz. And yes, I did use a dog barking as my marker in the editing process. Hey, yeah, just a little inside editing bit, just a joke between other people who edit. That's a great marker, a dog barking. That's perfect. So that was part one of April Schwartz, and there's so much more to come. We have two more episodes. We have part two and part three with April, and there's so much more to come. She's got a lot more stories to tell us, and we are here to listen. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've had a paranormal experience, please write in to Paranormal Record Podcast at gmail.com and tell us all about it. We'd like to hear your story. We're ready to believe you. And we'd love to hear it. So write in. And anybody that sends me their mailing address, I will send you a Paranormal Record sticker. I'll pay for the stamp. If you're a fan, you get your sticker and I'll pay for it. I'll send you your sticker. If you want a sticker, write in. Hey, Rob, love the show. I want a Paranormal Record sticker. I have 3 different kinds of stickers right now. Get your sticker. I'll send it to you. Send me your address to paranormalrecordpodcast at gmail.com. I'll send you a sticker. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Stay tuned. Upcoming April Schwartz story continues. I'm Rob Constantine. Thanks so much, guys. Good night.